One of the things I've realized in my life when you're on the verge of growing, becoming a better version of yourself, taking this big jump into whatever's meant for in your life, oftentimes that moment or that time or that chapter in your life can feel like hell. Like it can feel like you're dealing with all these negative things. You can be dealing with things that you're like, why is this happening to me? This doesn't feel good. And what I've realized since going through this process, I'm Jamal Root. If you don't know me, I'm 25 years old. I've gone through multiple moments where I've taken massive leaps of not leaps of faith, but I have done massive leaps of faith, but like massive leaps forward in my life in terms of growth, in terms of becoming, in terms of creating a better life for me. You know what I mean? And in these moments, I've realized from reflecting is that in the time right before it happened, there were all these signs and all these things I was going through that were always relevant in these chapters of my life right before things started to change, things started to get better, and a lot of them felt negative. And I think it would have been so much better of an experience if I knew these little negative experiences were just signs that I was on the cusp of my next breakthrough, of my next journey or chapter that's leading me to a better version of myself, that's allowing me to get something that I want. But in the moment, it feels like, man, this just sucks. Life hates me. But really, these are just signs that feel like hell, that are signals that a better life's coming. And I need you to know, if you're watching this video, you're here for a reason. You came across this video because you're going through some things. And it may seem like it sucks, it doesn't make any sense. But I'm here to tell you, it may not make sense immediately after you watch this video, but I'm telling you it is going to make sense eventually. And I'm going to prove it with a couple stories I have in my life and just explaining the signs that I felt at different times in my life when I'm on the verge of that breakthrough. I've felt this multiple times, and they feel like hell, but they allow you to really gain perspective, and they also allow you to become and be available for whatever you're meant to have. And so we're going to go through these 10 steps. Obviously, there's more than that 10 steps, 10 signs. There's more signs out there, but I think just watching this video and getting the vibe from these 10 signs, there's even other signs that you will have maybe happen in your life that you'll realize is parallel. But I need you to know whatever you're going through is for a reason. But let's get into some of these 10 specific signs that I've seen pretty much in almost all the chapters of my life where I'm about to break through, that are relevant, that felt negative, but that were exact signs I was on the verge of becoming and getting a better life. So the first one, I think this one's relevant for everybody. But what ends up happening is you begin to question everything. Oops. I spelled that wrong. I was about to put EE, okay? But you begin to question everything, okay? So essentially what happens is you have lived your whole life being told what to think, being told this is how life is, being told this is what you're supposed to do, whether that's your parents, society, your doggone phone, whatever it may be. We go through life always having somebody tell us what it's supposed to be, what we're supposed to do. And the way to live an average life, the way to never reach your fullest potential, the way to never become who you're supposed to become is to listen to other people's opinion about how you're supposed to live your life. What you will do if you listen to those people, you will live a life that makes them happy, that fulfills that person, but doesn't make you happy. And matter of fact, a lot of times what they're telling you to do isn't about what's making you happy. It's just their opinion of life that sucks, that they're settling for. So you have to start questioning everything. And I think at this point in your life, when you start questioning everything, why do we do it like this? Can it be better? I think another thing that ends up happening, I wrote it down in my notes, is that you start asking yourself the question like, yo, there has to be more to life. There has to be more than just this. You're telling me we just do this and this is our life, or you telling me this is the way people think and they don't think like this. Whatever it is, we're all different, but I think you start to question everything. You start to break out the mode of just doing what everybody says, or starts, at the very least, start questioning it. There's a lot of people that live their entire lives and they just let the world tell them what to think. They don't have any actual original thought. It's all group thought. I think that's a bar from Russ, one of my favorite rappers. But you have to start debunking it. Example I like to always talk about, that's an example that we've all went through in this questioning phase, is when we were told that Santa Claus was real. We were told that all the presents didn't come from our parents or our family or whoever. It was from this old white dude with a beard that was fat, and he brought him on a sled with reindeer. Like, come on. But we believed it as kids, right? But eventually we start to question, okay, is that really what happened? Maybe we hear it from somebody else. We start questioning things, and it wakes us up, and it starts us on this process of becoming somebody that actually finds the truth, actually becomes who we are, not just what other people tell us we're supposed to be. So this is something that's prevalent, and I think almost everybody, when you're about to go into a better life, because you start questioning your current life. Why would you wouldn't even know what a better life is if you didn't question your current life. So you need to start questioning things. The questioning things will start to happen when you're on the verge of a better life, because you realize there is a better life. You can't get a better life if you don't even know there's a better life, okay? Second one, Shallow things don't excite you anymore. So there's a lot of excite you. There's a lot of things you may have done in your life, whatever it may be, whether it's things your friends have always pushed you to do, social media has pushed you to do, things you just do because that's what you're supposed to do, or you think they're fun, or people tell you it's fun, and it can be fun, but you start to realize there's more to fulfillment, there's more to life, you know what I mean? Whether it's chasing money, chasing women, chasing short-term gratification, whatever it may be, there's a lot of things you used to do constantly, you start to be like, this is stupid. Like for me, like sometimes I'm out with my friends, and we're just chasing women day after day, and I'm like, this is stupid. I want to just meet my wife, you know what I mean? I want to actually get to know a girl, and not just, you know what I mean, manipulate. I just feel like this isn't even right. You know what I mean? You start to realize certain things aren't as valuable as it is to you as it is to other people. You start to see like, yo, this is stupid. And you start to distance yourself from certain things. This is another sign that a better life is coming, because you're starting to realize your current life isn't as good as people make it out to be, because you have your own independent thought, opinion about it, and you start to distance yourself that no longer excites you anymore. And that's what life is. Life is about evolving. Life is about becoming. It's about learning. It isn't about accepting what other people say is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to distance yourself from things that don't fulfill you. And it's okay if other people like it and you do. That's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to find and to do and to become whoever you are meant to be. And so you start to distance yourself from those things. Now, it's nothing wrong with going back and doing some of these shallow things every now and then. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong to do certain things, but you got to learn who you are as a whole and kind of live through that, okay? Another one, I think this kind of relates with the second one. You don't relate with your friends as much. And this is a big one. I think a lot of people deal with this, but you may have lived your life with certain people, and this isn't just friends, it's family, but your friends or whoever it may be, you don't really relate to them. You may have related to them because y'all had the same upbringing, but now as you start to learn who you are, you start to question things. You start to realize other things that are more valuable to you. The conversations aren't connected anymore. Maybe you've started to learn more about yourself, started to learn more about society, started to get passionate about something, started to actually gain knowledge about certain things and have other things that you're chasing in this world or doing, and other people are still stuck on the shallow things. And you're trying to like explain and talk about things that actually have value, but they're still stuck on the stupid stuff, which is okay because they're just not on that phase yet, but you feel yourself distancing yourself from your friends. This is what happens. This is what happens. It's not your responsibility to bring other people up to your level. In fact, other people have different responsibilities, different things they're going to do. Not every friend... I think one of the big things we mess up with is we have day one friends and we think our day one friends mean they're supposed to be forever friends. No, they just were the ones you started with, aren't the ones that are meant for you for the rest of your life. Somebody can be meant for you, but not meant for you for your entire life. They can be meant for you for a chapter. And sometimes we outgrow our friends. And if you want to be able to get to this better life, I don't believe in cutting off friends unless somebody does you wrong, but I think it's time to gain new friends and maybe distance yourself, because you becoming this better version of yourself has to be supported by people that see and believe in the next level of yourself. You may be starting to have visions of what you want, or a next level or a better life. If people can't see or believe in your vision, or aren't at least positive about it, then it's hard for you to believe it in your mind, because these people, the people you spend the most of your time with, are telling you it's not possible. Your beliefs, your own belief about your dreams is what determines if your dreams are possible. If you don't believe in it, it's not going to happen. The only thing that makes a dream a reality is for the dreamer to believe in the dream. And so a lot of times you won't be able to be around certain people anymore because they're affecting you believing in your dream and you getting a better life. So, that's just part of the game. Not saying to cut them off. I still hang out with some of my friends that do the shallow things. I just don't hang out with them as much. And I have other friends that relate to me on certain things, okay? I'm trying not to make this too specific. I'm trying to make this like, you know what I'm saying? So the fourth one, you feel in your soul, you feel pain in your souls when you're doing things that you've already debunked, okay? Feel pain in soul when you go back. I'm gonna just say go back. See, what happens is eventually you start to realize these shallow things and the things you were doing before that you've questioned aren't in anymore. and you realize that, but you will kind of go back to your old self every now and then. You'll find yourself in the bad habits. You're still growing to become the better version of yourself, which is completely normal. Don't think that you're perfect. And when you go back, it feels like icky. Like you feel like, oh, what is wrong with me? Like, I don't know if y'all have ever been like at a party. This is what happens to me. This is my particular situation. But like, I know I don't really like the club scene. I know I really don't like going to parties with a bunch of people I don't know. And I can find myself sometimes there like, yo, what are you doing, bro? Why are we here? All I'm thinking about is the business, the grind. I want to do this. Personally, I love kickbacks. I love being with my friends. I love being around people I know love me. But being around a bunch of random people and just chasing girls until the night ends, just getting drunk, that's not me. I'm not telling y'all not to do that, but that's not me, and I can feel a pain in my soul. Now, does sometimes that scene is cool? Like, yeah, every now and then I do like doing that, but doing it, like, I remember not that long ago, I went out on Friday, Saturday with my friends, and then they got me to go out on Sunday, and I never go out on Sundays, and I was just in the club like, bro, what am I doing? This feels like I felt a pain in my soul. Like, bro, you're supposed to get up at 5:30 in the morning tomorrow. Like, I could just feel icky about it. Or even, it's not always about little habits like that. Sometimes it could be not going for something. You believing in your dream and you finally have the opportunity for your dream, you don't go after it. And you just have to deal with that regret. And it's just like, oh, this feels icky. I remember when I had my first 9-to-5 job out of college, and I felt my soul wanting to be a motivational speaker, inspirational speaker. But I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I felt my intuition it was time to go, and I knew I had to go for it. And then when it was time to make a decision, I decided to stay and play it safe. And I never forget, like, being in my apartment, going up to the top floor, and looking out into the city, and I was just like, man, like, I can feel my future self being disappointed in me. I could almost feel it in my soul. It's like this connecting this to this higher version of yourself, and you're doing the opposite. You're doing the earthly version of yourself, and it can suck. But this is a sign that you're learning more and more that there's repercussions to you not being who you are and not going after what you're forever, what you're really meant for. And that feeling allowed me to then eventually go for it because I understood how much it sucked not to go for what I really wanted. Okay, next one. I already talked about the pain, but you feel pressure. Okay, you feel pressure. Oh, what did I say? You feel pressure and yeah. So you feel. So this kind of happens after this one. Feel pressure and fear not fulfilling potential. So one of the things that happens in this moment is that you can feel your inadequacy. You can fear your potential. You can fear that there's more. You can feel that there's more for you, and you fear that you can't do it. You fear that you're not enough. This is a normal feeling. When you feel like this means you're on the verge in the moment where you're gonna be forced to be challenged and to grow. If it didn't feel impossible, if it didn't feel like, man, this is a lot out there for me, I know there's more for me, I don't know if I can do it, that is the exact sign, the exact feeling that you're in the space that's going to lead you to a better life. So even if you don't get what you think you're meant for, you're going to be growing because you're tested, and you're going to get something that you're actually meant for. What's key in this pursuit, and this is kind of off subject of this, is realizing that the better life isn't always what you think the better life is. It's just the pursuit of whatever you think you want is that's going to build you into a better person that's going to create the life you're actually meant for. But regardless, it's going to be better of your current life because you've went through the process. You've actually been challenged. You're not playing it safe. You're becoming. And so you will feel this pressure. You will feel this like, man, can I remember, was it my 21st birthday? No, I remember my 22nd birthday. This is right before I quit my job. I hadn't even graduated college yet, but I was working for that organization as an intern. And I could just feel in my soul so much potential inside me. I could feel that there was a life so great out there ready for me to grasp if I just go for it. But at the same time, I was faced with so many people telling me it's not going to happen, it's unrealistic. I was faced with so much uncertainty. And I could just feel that there was something out there for me. It was so scary, but it was like a good scary because it meant there's more out there for me. What I'm living with right now isn't my forever. It's just a temporary if I just get the balls to go for it. And what I was thinking of, what I was dreaming of that I couldn't fully see, but I saw parts of, is what I'm living right now. Is the better life, but it's better than what I even thought it could be. Like, I'm an inspirational speaker that tours all year, speaking at schools all across the country. 30 minutes of my time is worth thousands of dollars. I have a lot of fun doing what I do. I'm not working I am working every single day, but I don't have to work every single day. I just do me every day. All that pressure and that fear was just me learning how big my potential is, and me being almost, it's like an intuitive feeling that you have to go for it, okay? It's a sign that you're on the verge of something, okay? If you didn't have big potential inside of you, you wouldn't feel the pressure, okay? Pressure is a privilege. It means you have responsibility. If you didn't have any responsibility in this world, you just be chilling because there's nothing for you to do. But you have this feeling because there's something meant for you. I need you not to see it as a bad thing. See it as an opportunity to grow and to create purpose in this world. It's beyond your imagination, but purpose is out there. But you got to be able to first be selfish enough to go after what you want, be who you are, and do what you love to do, okay? Another thing that will start happening, once you start feeling this potential, you start maybe seeing the visions of your dreams, whatever it may be. People won't understand you. You will start kind of having visions. You will start kind of having like, man, you can see certain things for yourself. You will start, kind of mapping things out or knowing that you want at least, or maybe just making the claims of what you first questioned and being like, bro, why do we do that? You will start speaking up about it, or maybe you want to hear other people, and you will start like having people saying, bro, what's wrong with you? Why would you think that? That's stupid. You have people genuinely that care about you that don't want you to keep going down this path that is bad because they're afraid you're not going to be okay. But you have to understand you're the only person that has to understand your vision. You have to understand these things were put in your mind for a reason, not the whole world's. It is your responsibility. So you will have people in this moment that don't understand you because everything that's created that actually changed the world isn't something that most people can understand, because if everybody could understand it, it would already be created. So you have to go about the path of being misunderstood to create a better life, because then everybody would have a better life if they understood what you understood, okay? If everybody could grasp the stuff you have in your mind of this better life, of things different than the average, then the average person would be average. They'd be living the better life. And so part of being above average is having most people not understand you. Do you see where I'm going here? If people don't understand you, you're not dreaming big enough. If everybody's like, yeah, man, that makes sense. Yeah, you're not dreaming big enough. You need to be delusional. You need to have people. That's part of you becoming and having a better life. If it doesn't have that, you're going for an easy life, not a better life, okay? So it will feel like hell. You will feel alone. You will feel this pressure. You will feel the pain in your soul. It will feel like hell, but it's signaling that you're on the verge of something great. You're on the verge of something better, okay? Now to the next one. I'm having a lot of fun with this, okay? Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. If you have any questions throughout the video, just give me a question and I'll maybe make a video about it. I'll respond to it. It's all love. I appreciate you for watching. Let's get to the 7th one. So I just did, people may not understand you. People may think you're crazy. Here's another big one, and this is one I had to really go through. Dealing with loss or rejection. Something that will happen in this time is, what you got to understand is, when you're on the verge of receiving and getting something so big, so grand, there's space that has to be made. If there isn't space in your life to be able to receive this big blessing, this new life, then you won't have the space to, you see what I mean? So imagine like GTA 6 comes out, that joint gonna be like 1 billion terabytes, right? If you got all the old games in your PlayStation, you're not gonna be able to download it. So you gotta deal with loss and rejection to be able to upload the better life, okay? So other people reject you because they don't understand you. You'll come off so different or weird. And you will also lose people in your life that no longer understand you, that relate to you, that you thought were your day ones, that thought that loved you no matter what. You will lose and face rejection because there's a better life. There's better things in your future. You just have to be able to be humble enough to understand you don't understand what's coming yet. And so don't face the rejection and the loss. I've had it, bro. I've had it right before I blow up, right before things pop off. I deal with loss and rejection because you also not only need to receive it, but you need the time to just focus, okay? So a lot of times being lonely, people leaving, is a privilege because you ain't got nothing else to do but to grind, but to focus, but to learn who you are. And I think a problem a lot of people deal with is they're always being stimulated. They're always having parties and friends and all that stuff, and that's cool. But then they never become and learn who they are because they never had time to think. And sometimes a breakup, friends leaving you, something happening, dealing with these things, they never give people, they get that when that stuff happens, it gives you the time to sit there and reflect because you ain't got nothing else to do. And in those reflections, in those moments, you get more clarity. You get the time. You get to be able to evolve. You get to be able to learn the different things to become, to create the better life. And so a lot of things will happen in this phase. You'll deal with loss. You'll deal with rejection. It sucks, but it's part of the process. You'll be thankful for it in the future, okay? The next thing you will deal with, random depression. Like, and when I say random, I mean random. Like, there's nothing causing it. Like, there's no like, this happened and I'm depressed. No, you will just randomly be depressed. I'm telling you, bro. Like, and the reason why you'll be randomly depressed is because your soul can feel that the current version of you isn't who you actually are. It's the world's molding of you. And it's like your body's having to strip away, sweat away all the things you are so you can be built back up and become. And so you have to go through this loss and these random depressions because your body is conflicted. There's this new version of you ready to become, but there's this old version still sometimes going back and doing the stupid stuff, still going and believing and doing things that aren't no longer who you are. So there's this confliction, there's this war going on in your body. There's this new version of you that's higher, that's intuitive, that has a value of things that aren't shallow. But then there's a prior of you that has built these habits, that has built these things that are foundational who you are, but it's not really foundational. It was bricks other people put on you, not the bricks that were made by the true roots of who you truly are. There's this confliction. And you'll be like, why am I depressed? Why am I facing this? Why do things look fuzzy? Things don't feel right. I feel it sometimes. Like I'll feel life not even looking right because my body and my soul, it's rebuilding itself. It's like the cells have to kill itself so it can create the new cells. I'm probably not describing it scientifically correctly, but you will go through these depressions and you will have to kind of sweat out. You will have to just, man, it sucks. I think there's a if y'all have ever watched the show Avatar, one of the best shows ever, there's this scene that perfectly describes it, and it's when Prince Zuko's with his uncle, and he's like just depressed, and he's like, why am I feeling like he's sweating and everything? He's like, why? And his uncle's like, you're going through a metamorphosis, my friend, my nephew. You're at war with you, and it's like, just go watch it. If you got the time, look up Zuko, uncle and metamorphosis or like war with itself, and it'll pop up. Super dope. Explains what I'm trying to explain better than I could explain it. Okay, but you got to go through that depression. You got to be kind of stripped of who you prior are so the new you can become. The old you has to be killed for the new you to be born. Okay, so that's my best description of it. Okay, another feeling, and through both of these things, you will basically feel like you hit rock bottom. Rock bottom is usually something you feel right before you glow up, bruh. I'm telling you. And so you will be facing these random depressions, these dealings with loss and rejection, and you'll feel like your life is just crappy. Like I remember when I quit my job and went after my dreams, I had priorly lost my girlfriend. I lost the money I was making. I was living with my parents again. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I felt like I hit rock bottom, bro. I was like, bro, did I just ruin my life? But you kind of have to ruin your life. If you've ever seen, like, for example, like if a team wants to build a new stadium or a new building, whatever, you have to literally crush everything, bulldoze everything. Things look like a landfill for you to build up this new beautiful stadium. You can't build a beautiful stadium, a new building over the current building. You got to knock down that building, right? So you got to hit rock bottom. Things got to look rough, messed up, toe up from the flow up for you to then be able to build up. So you got to hit rock bottom. So that's prevalent in everything. Sometimes you're going to have to feel. Now, are you always going to have this sign to have a better life? No, you're not always going to hit rock bottom, okay? Especially once you go through some of these things multiple times, you don't have to hit rock bottom. But it also gives you, what rock bottom also gives you, it forces you to never want to go back to the way you are because it's like, I'm never coming back here. I'm bossing up. You know what I mean? It gives you that motivation, also gives you perspective to value when you do make it. Because when you make it, it's going to feel so much better. If you made it to wherever you're meant for and it never hurt, it wouldn't even feel great because you didn't go through anything. But this rock bottom, when you make it, bro, it's gonna feel so much doper because you know you went through that fire. You went through hell to be able to get to wherever you're meant to go. So oftentimes you're gonna hit rock bottom. So if you feel rock bottom, I know it sucks, but like, yo, this is a sign you about to boss up, bro. So that's a positive of it. And the last one, and I think this is kind of something maybe you don't have. It's less of a signal or a sign, and it's more of a something you have to learn, or maybe you are learning this, and this is a sign you're about to glow up. But you start to, let me make sure I write it exactly the way I wrote it. Yeah. And I think this one is the most important. You begin to value / enjoy delayed gratification. See, pride in our lives, we're usually always taking the safe route. We're always being logical. We're always succumbing to our feelings. But as you realize, a better life, which most people don't have, takes time. It takes grind. It takes a mind. I'm rhyming here. I was trying to freestyle for a second, but it wasn't working. I actually like freestyling. But basically, you start to become and learn the value of delayed gratification, of grind for something. Like for me, I make these videos, and it's not viral yet, it ain't going, but I'm diving into the process and disconnecting from the results and understanding in due time it's all gonna compound. You start to realize that, things aren't short term. You can't take the shortcuts anymore because they just cut you short. You start to really dive into the things that delay you in that gratification. You're not just swiping on TikTok anymore. You're not just doing the things are bad habits that don't give you anything in the long run. You're not taking the safe route, you're taking the long route. And when you start doing that and you really address these signs, you start to really be on the verge of a better life. And I need y'all to know, whatever you believe in your mind is possible. Whatever you want for yourself is possible. It's just a matter of you believing in it. It's a matter of you seeing that these negatives in your life aren't bad things. I think that's why I made this video. I want you to know all these things you're dealing with, they're not bad. It's just opening up the space for your better self to become. All of this is just you in different ways killing your old self to become the better self. Don't let anybody tell you there's anything wrong with changing. People will say, bro, you changed. Yeah, I changed. That's the point of life, evolution. If you look at the beginning of time to now, things have changed. We have iPhones where I can record a video. We have the internet. Everything changes, bro. So do you. If not, you'll become an average person. You'll keep not being able to do the things you want to do. Part of becoming and getting a better life is you evolving, if you seeing and reflecting on things that no longer are you. And what happens here is when you get to this better life, you're going to go through this whole process, some of these again, because you're going to realize there's an even better life. Part of living is always going and going for more. It's about being grateful, but never settling. And you have to be able to face these signs and more and not look at them as bad things, but as opportunities. I promise you, if you want it, if you see it, it doesn't matter if other people don't, because you're the only person that has to do it. So if you want more inspiration, if you want more tools and steps to be able to become the best version of yourself, or find your passion, find what you absolutely love to do, or find success within something you love to do, check out some more of my videos. I said videos like I'm a blood or something. Check out some more of my videos. Like, comment, subscribe. See y'all on the next one. Peace.